I come at 20 by the way. That's going to be 20. Then we are finished. Let's go to the next one.
बारिश हो रही है
Since no one would understand. Since no one would understand the word of my stories, if I would plunge right in, I better provide a brief sketch of my life, but it's like this. My father, the most adorable father I've ever seen, didn't marry my mother.
I started the lesson and then you are busy chit chatting again.
telling us Jews. Telling us no, telling you. Jew movie है. आप सेवन तो इधर.
We are racist here in the class. Alright. Again start please.
Since no one would understand the word of my stories to keep me out and plunge right in, I better provide a brief sketch of my life, much than reflect doing so. My father, the most adorable father I've ever seen, didn't marry my mother until he was 36 and she was 25. My sister, Margot, was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. I was born on 12 June 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. My father emigrated to Holland in 1933. My mother, Edith Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland in September when Margot and I were sent to Aachen to stay with our grandmother. Margot went to Holland in December and I followed in February when I was plunked down on the table as a bunny that was Margot.
Now, if you see, like she had no intentions, if you see, when she started writing her diary, she had intended only for herself, as in her memoirs, if you see. She's writing down her daily occasions. If I'm writing a diary, nobody will understand. Though she said, I don't want any others to read, but she's given a brief history about it. Now a child, a 13-year-old child writing in such a way, and there's no editing part of it. Right, it was just translated from Dutch to all the other languages. There is no editing part. This is actually what a 13-year-old child wrote. And remember when we said very logical, very rational way of thinking, very adult, very mature way of thinking, you see it in that also. I'm waiting for you to concentrate. When you concentrate, then I can start. Yeah. So she's given a brief history of all like what has happened in the family, and that so you have this connectivity with the readers have the connectivity with this child and what like who is she talking about and what is she talking about, like this. She's given a brief life sketch. Okay. My father is the most adorable father. Now, adorable automatically tells you that she loves her father a lot. When you use the word adjective with father, she describes her father as adorable. That means she loved her father a lot. I didn't marry my mother until 36 and she was 25. So the father got married a little late in his life. He got married at 36 and the mother was 25 when he got. So there was an age difference between them. What was the age difference? 9 years. My sister Margot was born in Frankfurt in Germany 1926 and I was junior. What is the age difference between Margot and her? Yes. They have to get up on feet, not you. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. So, here, till which year she lived there?
33.
33.
29.
29 to 33. Then, my father immigrated to Holland. What do you mean by immigrated?
Citizenship.
Citizenship. When you immigrate, you basically take the
Emigrate is citizenship.
immigrate is when you have completely shifted to take the green card and this. Immigrate, what are you talking about? Immigrate.
And what is I?
That is totally with your bag, baggage and everything. And E takes it for like you don't have to take go and take a job there. Later on, you begin.
You first shift, then you take a job.
Yes.
It is a job situation.
Yes. So immigrated to Holland in 1933. My mother, Edith Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland in September, while Marco and I were sent to Aachen to stay with my grandmother. So basically, parents went first and then the children followed. It happens normally, like it happens with Indian parents also. The first they go and their kids follow later. Or the wife stays back and then they take she takes that and goes with this. So that's why Margot is very close to her grandmother too. Okay. So Margot went to Holland in December and I followed in February when I was plucked down on the table as a birthday present for Margot. So plucked down is basically like plucked down always just taking something and they would do like that. This is your birthday present. This your sister's your birthday present. So she's saying I was given as a birthday present to Margot. I started right away at the Montessori nursery. You know that Montessori, you have heard of Montessori?
Yes.
What it is?
I will ask for it Montessori.
Yeah. But what it is? What is basic Montessori?
Like before elementary, basic nursery, kindergarten.
Nursery and kindergarten in Montessori.
Montessori. Montessori is a course.
Correct.
It's nurse in Italy.
Yeah.
Named after her.
Yes. And what is the Montessori method?
The
Yes.
surname from Montessori.
The surname. Her surname was Montessori. Basically, she taught children gross motor, fine motor skills. What you do, that is how babies or children should be trained when they are young itself to hold the before holding a chalk or a pen or anything. How to develop that? That is called the Montessori method. You have your kind of your jungle gym and all that. Remember balancing beams and all that is there. So that is how Montessori methods.
Everything is broken in our school.
Yes.
We also have a jungle gym and everything is closed.
It's not that jungle gym. For these babies, they have
This one is
these made in wooden blocks. No, they are made of wood blocks, and they have this. If there's a balancing beam, this if this is the balancing beam, it will be there. And the children will be able to walk on this low kind of platform where they don't get hurt and all that. In order to the gross motor skills and fine motor skills, you have different kinds of our body has different kinds of motor skills. When you are a child, you are trained in that. You are much more balanced. Alright. So she was put in a Montessori nursery. Don't sit chit chat with each other and sit and telling each other. Rituraj, today I'm going to throw you out of the class, and I'm not joking. Today I'm extremely distracted and distracting others. Otherwise, normally you're very, very studious. Today your attention span is 0. I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I started in the first. So 6 years old, again like India, which has the anything which has come up. Now you know that till 3rd standard you are hardly 8, 9 years old, like that. That is how it is come. It is 0 to 2/3, like that. That is one slot. Then 4 to 8 is another slot. Then it is 9 to 12. That is the 3 divisions which there are NEP rules what have come out. Yeah. So here it is. Like she was in 6th and she went on the first form is the first standard. In the 6th form is 6th grade. My teacher was Mrs. Cuperis, the headmistress. At the end of the year, we were both in tears as we said a heartbreak. So she was very fond of a principal also. So she had to leave school and go. So that's why it was heartbreaking for her. In summer of 1941, Grandma fell ill and had to have an operation, and so my birthday passed with little celebration. So birthday was an occasion for them, but Grandma fell sick. So because Grandma fell sick, so they couldn't celebrate her birthday. Okay. Grandma died in January 1942. Just before her birthday. When was her birthday?
June 12, 19.
June 12. So
That's summer, na, that's right. June 12, 19. Then 1929.
29. Then what happened is she fell sick and she died. No one knows how often I think of her or still love her because she doesn't confide in anybody because she doesn't have friends and she doesn't want to talk that she misses her grandmother, and she like remember she was staying with her grandmother when her parents were not there. So that kind of attachment grows for your grandparents more. If you spend more time with your grandparents, that kind of attachment is there. Have you seen? Have you experienced anything?
Yes, ma'am. I have.
You find you either your mother's side grandparents or the father's side grandparents. You'll be attached, but one side of grandparents, not both the sides. You'll be attached to one side because they are the ones who spend more time with you. But that is the reason you'll be attached. If the other, it was the other way around, the other both the if the both the sets of grandparents would have spent a lot of time, equal amount of time, then you'll be attached to both. But it depends on how much you spend time with one particular family member. That's how your attachment goes. This birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make up for the other. Grandmother's candle was lit along with the rest. So for grandmother, also one candle was lit on in the birthday celebration. The four of us are still doing well, and that brings me to the present date, 28th June 1942. And the solemn dedication to of my life. Solemn dedication. Solemn is what? True. Serious. Or that kind of grave dedication. Okay, so that kind of dedication to my grandmother. That's why she mentioned her grandmother in this. Because that's what like she felt like her grandmother was not there and she misses her grandmother but she couldn't put it in words. So that's why she dedicated this particular page, this particular part of the chapter to her grandmother. Understood the history, what she's given about her family and all that. She's dedicated to her grandmother. This is your diary entry. You know how to write diary entry, right? Yes. You write the day, date, and the address. Who you are addressing to. So that should be.
Yes, our entire class is taking in schools. The reason of course is the forthcoming meeting in which the teachers decided to move up to the next form and will be kept back. Half the class is making bets. G and I laugh ourselves silly at the two boys behind us. C and Jack use Jack.
This is a French word.
Sharpness.
Is
Shark. Shark who stake their entire holiday saving on their bed from morning to night. Right?
what is the pronunciation?
Jack.
Sharp.
Yeah, because the walls are all twisted and turned.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why the pronunciation changes. Okay.
You are going to pass. No, I am not. Yes, you are. No, I am not. Even G is reading lectures at my angry outburst. I can't tame them down.
Calm them down.
Calm them down. If you ask me, there are so many dummies about a quarter of the class should be kept back. But teachers are the most unpredictable teachers on earth.
What does this tell you about her?
And she's very
Speak.
She's very mastiko, Hindi word. She's very mischievous. But that's not the appropriate word. What does it tell you about her?
she is
Intelligent, so yes, she is.
intelligent.
She
She's
tries-
very what is the word
Calm.
to say? वो word नहीं याद आ रहा. She's very like okay, कार्य word नहीं आ रहा. Connect. Not connect. She's very
Not
honest.
no. Honest, yes.
Mature. Very self-aware.
Self-aware is a better word. She knows that she has done well. She knows her surroundings. She's aware of what is happening around her. And she knows
Observant.
she's very observant.
Right.
Yes.
She's aware but in a childish way. It's not like
No, she's not very mid.
huh.
Okay, we'll come to that word. So what happens is everybody is quaking in their boots. That means everybody is nervous because today the report cards are going to come out, and today we will come to know whether the person is going to be promoted or demoted or kept back in the same class. Understood? So this time, and she's having fun with it because she's saying these two characters, the boys behind us, they are having bet whether we will go further in the class or we will just be kept back. And then this, even though she's giving them an angry glare, she's glaring at him and says, "Shut up now, don't talk about so much." And but still they are continuing. And even the other one, because the teacher will catch them, right? They are talking too much, so the teacher will catch them. So the other one is pleading, "Don't stop talking," and the other one, she is giving them a glare, but that hasn't have any effect on these children. So our entire class is quitting, and the reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in which the teachers decide who will move up to the next form and who will be kept back. Half the class is making bets. G and I laugh ourselves silly and the boys behind us. Laugh ourselves silly, that means they're giggling because they know these boys are acting silly. Okay. CNN, yeah, you can say that. Who have staked their entire holiday savings on their bet. So they have saved throughout the holiday and they have bet that put that on that, like whether we'll be promoted or will not be promoted. From morning to night, it's you are going to pass, no, I'm not. Yes, you are, no, I'm not. Even the G's speeding glances and my angry outbursts can't calm them down. You know, just shut up, don't make that, like, don't have that bet. Stop. Yeah. Yes. Stop talking and talking or irritating us like that. If you ask me, there were so many dummies. Very snobbish also, right? You don't think she's acting a little snobbish. So many dummies, about a quarter of the class. Quarter of the class? 1/4. Should be kept back, but the teachers are the most unpredictable creatures of the year. For a child, definitely the teachers are very and it's a funny one. Now look at this. See,
I'm not so worried about my girlfriend and myself. With me, in the only subject I'm not sure is about is maths. So, anyway, all we can do is wait. Until then, we keep telling each other not to use it. I get along pretty well with all my teachers. There are 9 of them, 7 men and 2 women.
another thing to notice about that during that time, women were not teachers. Men were the major teachers. Yes.
Mr. Testing, the old foggy old teacher. Easing. कैसे भी तो बोला था Easing. The old foggy who teaches maths was annoyed with me for ages because I talk so much. After several warnings, he assigned me extra homework. An essay on the subject, a chatterbox. A chatterbox, what can you write about that? I worry about that later. I decided I jotted down the title in my notebook. Tucked it in my bag. Tucked it in my bag and tried to keep.
Now look at the word tried to keep quiet. She is a chatterbox because she likes talking. She's basically going on and on with her friends. Yes. And the teacher, all the teacher liked her, but this one, he really, like, Hogi, I know, who is like, he's calling him Hogi. Because a perception of every child about every teacher is different. So because he has a problem with us, she's called him Hogi. Okay? And then he says, like, I get along pretty well. And okay, I was not so worried with my girlfriends and myself will make it. So that I know that we have Muriel passed, we go to the next form and all that. The only subject I'm not sure about is maths. Maths being the main, so you can you can have this attachment with her because she also was struggling in maths. Yeah. So this one. So anyway, all we do is to wait. Until then, we keep telling ourselves not to lose heart, not to give up. We always have that. So again, you'll find a reflection of a positivity in her writings. She keeps on this one. I get along pretty well with all my teachers. Those are 9 of them, 7 men and 2 women. Mr. Keesing, the old foggy who teaches maths, was annoyed with me for ages because I talk so much. So means he has been continuously angry with her. Not angry as in very furiously angry, just annoyed is upset, kind of upset, irritated. So he says, because why she used to talk too much, and when you're doing maths, you cannot talk if you know that maths are supposed to solve instead of talking. So he was annoyed. After several warnings, he assigned me extra homework. So that also tells you that teaching also had kind of patience. He gave her several warnings, and at last, when she still would keep on talking, he gave her a homework, an essay, an extra homework, an essay on a subject, a chatterbox. So she said, a chatterbox, what can you write about it? I'll worry about it later, I decided. So now I don't have to worry, I'll worry about it later. So here she knew that she has to do her assignment. She knows, but she said, instead of getting me worried now, like you got it in school now. So why worry about it now? I'll worry about it a little later. Right now, I'll do what I have to do. I decided. I jotted the title down with a notebook and tucked it in my bag and tried to keep quiet. Tried to keep quiet because she used to like to talk. So imagine that child confined in that small place. What a torture it would have been for her. That for 2 years she was in that small box, hidden from the Nazis. So she gives you a glimpse of how her life was before she got shut down in that particular small place, where they were forced to hide.
That evening, after I finished the rest of my homework, we knew about the essay called my eye. I began thinking about the subject while sitting the tip of my house and fell.
You do this, right? That is a habit. See, that's a very bad habit, but
Yes.
yes, like that is the same bad habit. Children have the habit of chewing. And it is like, his body, he doesn't realize he does it. Now, consciously, he's trying to control it. From last class, what I told him, he's consciously trying to control it. Otherwise, I'm telling you, he's going to land up in big trouble when he does that in a formal setting. Because he's not realizing his body. And in principal, man's office, and he's standing in his if he's an important meeting. That important meeting or go. If he lies in principal's office, he's come brought down to get suspended, and there he's doing sitting in that.
अरे एक बार देखी है चिल्ला रही थी मेरे को हंसी आ रही थी
Shame on you. Read.
With convincing arguments to prove the necessity of dropping, I thought, and suddenly I had an idea. I wrote the 3 pages. He's disturbing.
And you're getting disturbed. That is the problem.
Mr. Kissing and
He's not kissing somebody. He's kissing.
Mr. Kissing had assigned me and was satisfied. I argued that talking is a student's trait and that I would do my best to keep it under control. But that I would never be able to cure myself of the habit since my mother talks so as much as I did, if not more, and that there is not much you can do about inherited traits. My mother does not do this.
Annie is saying that I can't stop talking because even if I try to stop talking, I have inherited it from my mother, so and that habit I cannot let go. So I try. So he's saying that's what she says. Now she's very conscious, as in she's very particular about doing her homework and this. So you can see that gives you that evening after I finished the rest of my homework, the note of essay caught my eye. So she made sure that she wrote that essay because she had to submit it. That's an assignment, extra assignment she got. So after she finished the homework from school, she is very studious. She makes sure that she completes her work on time. So you're going to find dedicated student, hardworking, that response. I am thinking about the subject by chewing on a tip. This is a nervous habit. You know what to write. Then you thought, you cannot organize your thought. You don't know what to write. And you have to convince the teacher that whatever, when you're writing an essay, that this is whatever I've written is correct. You know what is an essay, right? That you have to convince the reader, you have to convince the reader that whatever written is just truth. Okay, so she writes that. She came up with very convincing arguments, if you see. But the trick was, anyone could ramble on. Yeah, basically you can write rubbish. That is called rambling. You don't come to the point, but you carry on and on and on, but not coming to the point. What is the question? You will write a different answer. You asked about the egg, you will write about the hen. You asked about the goat, you're writing about the milk. Understood that kind of context. So you ramble on. You don't come to the point. And in an essay, you have all kids, 101%, even you all, have the habit of rambling on. You will never come to the point in what the essay is all about. You're getting all under the sun, but what is the point?
No, literature
Literature, no, that was language, grammar. That comes under grammar. Yes. And leave big spaces between words, but the trick was, so this is also one more thing, leave spaces between words. So see that the trick was to come up with convincing argument through the necessity of talking. So she was very very logical, very rational. She said, if I'm writing an essay about chatterbox, I need to convince that person that chatting is essential. Students have to chat. If they don't chat, they will not get along in their lives. See, that's what she's convinced. Look at this. I thought, suddenly I had an idea. I wrote 3 pages. 3 pages essay. Mrs. Keating had assigned me and was satisfied. So when she wrote the essay, she had convinced, she convinced the teacher. I argued that about talking is a student's trait. True?
No, I don't know.
You said true and I don't know. What rubbish? You entered the class and you chit-chatting with him. And then as soon as he entered, he started chit-chatting. It's a student's trait. And I would do my best to keep it under control. So he says, okay, I'll keep it under control. I try to keep it under control, but I would never be able to cure myself of it. So that I will not be able to stop chatting with my friends or talking with my friends. Since my mother, as much as I did no more, that there is not much you can do with inheriting. So my mother was a big chatterbox and said, I have inherited the trait from her. So I can never ever stop talking. Understood? It's humorous if you think, and the teacher definitely would have liked it. Possibly.
Mr. Teasing had a good laugh at my arguments, but when I proceeded to talk my way through the next lesson, he assigned me a second essay. The time it was supposed to be on an incorrigible factor. I handed it in, and Mr. Keesing had nothing to complain about for 2 whole lessons.
So first, sorry.
However, during the third lesson, he finally had enough, and he tried as punishment for talking in class, write an essay entitled "Quack Quack Quack," said Mrs. Campbell.
So initially, first time she submitted it. So she was okay for 1 week. She didn't chat a lot in his class. Second time it happened. So for 2 weeks she didn't chat. The third time it happened, he lost this one. He says now write down this one. Quack Quack said Mrs. Chatterbox. Okay. Incorrigible is somebody who cannot be here it is written corrected is basically controlled. Basically. So here. So after I proceeded to talk my way to the next lesson. So after the next lesson, again he lost his temper and again he gave a second chatterbox. I handled it and he had nothing to complain for 2 whole lessons. So 2 whole lessons she controlled her tongue. But the third lesson, as she said, I can't stop chit chatting. She had convinced I can't stop chit chatting. So the third lesson he finally had enough and told her you write about this topic. Yeah.
The class over. I had to laugh too. Though I nearly exhausted my ingenuity on the topic of chatterboxes, it was time to come up with something else, something original. My friend Samuel was good at poetry, offered to help me write the essay from beginning to end in words, and I jumped for joy.
She's very sorry.
Mr. Keesing was trying to play a joke on me with this ridiculous subject, but I'd make sure the joke wasn't.
Yeah. So now
She's very witty.
very.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because the way she writes, that's why it was read all over the world. Why her diary was read all over the world. The way she wrote, and this is actually her translation. It's an excerpt from a journal. This story is an excerpt from a journal. But in the sense that like she's very witty, she's very humorous. You feel like reading her this one. Now here it's a day-to-day event. She's not written anything extraordinary, but how she puts it across in words and how she makes it interesting for the person to read. That is what Annie Frank is all about. Her diary is all about. Understood? And the emotional connect you feel with her, the small habits which you can still identify with. That's why do authors become popular? It's because they can connect with the reader. You know, you can take the flight of your imagination can take flight. That kind of connectivity, and Annie Frank had that kind. Imagine if she was grown up and she had the chance to live her life. How well she would have been a world-renowned author. So she's out right now also. That is after her death. So stop to me what you are saying. Okay. So, like, you know, when the teacher gave this kind of funny quack, 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 Miss Chatterbox, Mr. Chatterbox, this kind of funniness, and everybody laughed. Road, that means everybody laughed loud. I had to laugh too because she didn't have a choice. She didn't want to be put down by her teacher. Understood? She tried to be one up on her teacher. Whenever he gave her, she gave something a witty essay. She gave a clever essay. She thought about how to, like, you know, logically think how to get what are the arguments which he put in that essay. But now he gave us some which was very weird kind of topic. So she says, I like, you know, she nearly had, like in the two essays, she had nearly finished writing whatever she could think of, whatever ideas she had written in the school essay. So this was something. She said, I have to think out the box to do this. It was time to come up with something original. My friend Stan, who's good at poetry, offered to help me write the essay from the beginning to end in verse. Verse, there are prose and verse, right? Poetries are written in verse. Prose is like this lesson is written in prose. Okay. And I jumped for joy because an essay written as a poetry was something different, right? So, and Mr. Keesing was trying to play a joke on me. So he was trying to put me down, play a joke on me on with this ridiculous subject, but I will make a joke. I will make sure that the joke was on him. That means if he's giving me something, an assignment which is like supposed to be like a punishment, I will turn it into something different. Okay, I will turn the joke on him was not make a joke out of him. Huh? It means I will make sure that I will do my best to make it to change. No, to turn it around, not make it too genuine. To turn it around, to make him regret giving me that particular essay, that particular topic. Understood? He wanted to put her down. Why? Because her habit of chatting was really irritating him and making him very angry. So he wanted to put her down once and for all so that she will keep her mouth shut in the class and do what she's told to. But she was incorrigible. She couldn't be controlled. So he gave her a ridiculous topic and he said, I will do one up on him. I will show him that I will turn this around on him. Okay, that this assignment was also not going to keep me down or not shut me up. I finished my poem and it was beautiful. It was about a mother duck and a father swan with three baby ducklings. Mother duck, father and three baby ducklings who were beaten to death by father because they quacked too much. Father beat the ducklings a lot because they quacked too much. Quack in the sense chatted too much, spoke too much. So luckily, Mr. Keesing took the joke right away. He understood that the joke was on him. He was a father duck and he was punishing the children who talked too much. He read the poem to the class, adding his own comments and to several other classes as well. So he liked the poem so much, so he read it in front of the class and he gave his comment on see how well she's written, and then He read it to all other classes as well. Since then, I have been allowed to talk and haven't been assigned an extra homework. So he understood finally that it cannot be controlled. The habit of talking cannot be controlled. On the contrary, Mrs. was teasing, always making jokes these days. And she changed the attitude of her teacher too, who who was very serious, but now he makes jokes. So yours and that's over. So what are this one of Annie? Characteristic of Annie? Intelligent, witty, talkative, humorous, a good writer. A good writer. Self-aware. Self-aware, good.
What was that word for young people who are like very mature? You know, she's quite mature, she's quite smart.
Smart for you. You have to do the same things. Okay. So now we come to Amanda.
You don't have this.
What do we have?
I'm penetrating. You don't have a Amanda.
Then what do we have?
Footprints without feet.
That I know, the thief story, and after that
We only have carpet and wild animals and the ball poem. The tigers in this one.
tiger in the to be finished.
I know.
Ah.
I think we finished all the poems.
I finished all the poems and all the lessons now, I think so.
No, lessons are
Not footprints without feet in this.
Glimpses of India.
Huh?
glimpses of India.
And not
Glimpses of India is there.
a baker from Goa.
So there was portion that
But this we have. Get past that.
This you have in what?
This exam, August.
Glimpses of India in this.
glimpses of India. We don't have a Amanda.
This was in an exam. And
Glimpses of India, Amanda nahi hai. Yes, this one. Very good chapter.
You have glimpses of India.
yes, ma'am. Yes.
And
Yes, yes.
तेरा mark किया था.
Arey, after glimpses of India, what we have?
Nothing from you.
Only glimpses of India is left.
देखा I second to the
Amanda, you sure you don't have because Amanda yesterday said you have.
Amanda.
Who said?
Sir said when he phoned me up for an extra class.
Which sir?
The one who arranges for your classes.
Who?
You don't have a
Okay.
and glimpses of India. That's it.
Alright. And you have from footprints that with the thief.
Photos of India, quotes.
Thief story, yes, we have. We have thief story.
That's what I said. One minute. Two I have finished already. One I have finished already.
You have to do thief story, midnight visitor, and a question of crush.
So thief story and midnight visitor we finished today. And tomorrow next week I'll take glimpses of India and then
Tomorrow is the
Glimpses of India is like 3 parts. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm not taking. Oh,
go back from there.
I know I'm not signed up. I can go back. But I made this.
Glimpses of India.
I know. But we will do that next week. We do the thief story.
मेरे पास सारे चैनल स्टार्टिंग के सारे स्पीच है
The thief story is also a good one. What is the thief story all about?
Oh, Hari Singh.
Hari Singh one. It's about
Hari Singh, the director, is the thief.
and
About trust, about how people can change under the right
The
influence.
editor of the story itself is a thief.
It's about characters,
He made a trusted
great
bond with
characters.
somebody.
great actors.
Yes.
He is a great character. Then
He made friendship with Anil,
yes, and
though he was 15 years.
Acha, though he was 15 years, Anil was older than him or younger than him. Who was 15 years?
Hari Singh,
Ah,
the thief.
why did he change?
Because when he stole the money which Anil kept under his bed and ran away, he thought that Anil is a trustful man and he should not have taken the money.
Anil didn't know how Hari was?
No.
Are you sure?
Later he knew when he stole the money, but he neglected it to make him a good person.
Why did he change?
Because of the goodness of Anil.
What made him change?
Because he realized that he had so much potential and he could have achieved if he received education from others. And that
Yes, ma'am. He was receiving education.
He realized that.
He learned how to
He realized
write.
that. Why did he change?
Then
What was the reason why he changed?
Anil taught him to read and write,
Both of you want to chit chat, go out.
and he would study.
Why did he want to change?
he could achieve more. Yes.
Realization came later. What made him mostly change? That
He
is
didn't want
his
to betray
realization.
trust. He didn't want to betray Anil's trust.
Why did he want to betray?
He wanted education. Because he was the only one who trusted Hari.
Correct. He was the only one who trusted him. Why? He didn't want to betray him. Why? And what made him turn? He left the house. He reached the railway station. He could have caught the train. Why did he not catch the train?
Because something in him stopped him.
What stopped it? And something. What was the
Goodness of
something?
Anil.
Goodness of Anil, correct. But what about him? I'm talking about Hari. I'm not talking about Anil.
Anil's trust for him.
Agreed. So what feeling stopped him? Thank you.
Yeah.
We come to the major thing, guilt of not betraying Anil. That guilt, without saying, Anil knew that he was flinging 10 rupees. When he was going to grocery, he would take that rupee and this one. Anil knew, but he didn't comment. He didn't comment on his bad habits. You need people like that. And sometimes it is the change comes within you because you start understanding the value of those people. Till that guilt doesn't wake you up, your conscience up, saying this what I'm doing is wrong, and I don't have to betray that person. You all go round and round the garden, you don't come back to what I'm asking you. Nothing happened. You go and chit chat more. You don't have to read the lesson. These characters read the lesson, but what is the basis of this lesson? They don't know. It is okay, nahi padhaya hai, but listen to what we are talking about. You will understand what we are talking about. In life, the literature lesson is not about reading the lesson. It is about understanding what the lesson is teaching you. By Ruskin Bond, it is, you know who's Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond has been enough and more times he's written. Okay, he's still this one. He's a British descent. He lives in Missouri, India. This one, Sahitya Kavi Padmashri, Padma Bhushan. Most of the works are influenced by the hill station. Remember, Ruskin Bond, whenever he writes, it's based around cities and towns around his where he's visited. He is still living.
He's alive.
He lives in India. He is of British descent. Descent is means he's a Britisher who settled in India.
He's alive.
He's still alive. He still lives in Missouri. You can go and meet him. Once he goes to one particular place, you can go and meet him there. Yes.
Why is he
Chalo,
staying
that's
in
why.
Missouri?
Sorry?
He's staying
Because he loves Missouri. And that's why he stays
He
there.
has the
My friend went in this, met Ruskin Bond.
You met this.
My friend went in this Ruskin Bond. He goes to have a particular cafe. He goes in the evening to have a cup of tea and this one, and he meets people. It's not like that though he's famous, but like
Humble.
yeah, very humble.
I'm correct.
And it's a lovely, that's why Anil has that humility what you talk about. That's why because of that humility, Hari could change. You all are not understanding the characters we are talking about. You all are just out, like on top of your head, you give betray, don't want to betray, don't want to dismiss, whatever why that see, till I don't understand what mistakes I am making, I don't understand myself, I cannot change the others. You understand why I'm upset because of that? Because you all are in top. Don't do the top leading. You do the top leading, you yourself will become shallow. Shallow. Okay, his first novel, The Room on the Roof, was written when he was 17 and was published when he was 21. Being a writer for over 50 years, Ward experimented with different genres. Early works included fiction, short stories, novella, with some being autobiographical. Later, he tried out non-fiction, horror, romance, and books for children. This, if you read any of the stories, in all your boards, whether it is state, whether it's CBSE, whether it's ICSE, whether it's IB, you'll always find Ruskin Bond stories used in that books because they are sometimes very day-to-day life stories. It's not something very elaborate stories. You can connect to the story, but you can find like what values you can get from those stories. It's so relevant. Ruskin Bond, Home and Masuri. This is where he lives.
Wow.
You're still living as long as you're living, you can. It's about a 15-year-old thief who changes his name every month to stay ahead of the police. So this child is a street smart person. This Hari is a very street smart person because he doesn't want to get caught by the police. He keeps on changing. His original name is Hari, but whenever he would meet somebody, he would change his name. Understood? This time he kept his name Hari, yet he goes on to ask a 25-year-old man, writer Anil, to allow him to work for him. Anil trusts him completely and employs him. Does Hari succeed in stealing from Anil? Does the boy betray his trust? What happens in the end? Characters: a small-time thief, Anil a struggling writer. The story begins with Hari seeing a small-time thief approaching Anil, a struggling writer who is watching a wrestling match. Hari lets the reader know that this is not his real name since he keeps changing name to avoid getting caught by the police or previous employers. However, we don't get to know his real name in the story. Hari tries to flatter Anil. That is his tactic, street smartness, what you say. He will try to flatter because anybody who wants to, who's flattered will listen to you. Right? So we'll help you also. So in order to have his attention, once he has Anil's attention, he asks Anil for a job. Anil flatly refuses, saying he won't be able to pay. And Anil is very pragmatic, very practical. He says, I will not be able to pay. He himself is a struggling writer. If you employ somebody, will you be able to pay or something? So no, he says no. Yeah. So it's very truthful and honest.
Hari Singh is also not real.
No, Hari Singh is also not his real. He keeps on changing. The narrator keeps on changing his name. The narrator is. He keeps on changing his name because he is not he doesn't want to be caught by the police because he is a self-proclaimed thief. He said, I am a thief and I don't want to get caught, so I keep on changing my name. Understood? And how this came about like this. So Hari Singh's persistence makes Anil think twice. Finally, they reach an agreement. Hari would cook for Anil and return. Anil would feed him and give him a place to stay. So that was the kind of proposal. Like you cook for me, and I will give you a place to sleep, and I will give you to eat. I can't pay you. He's been very clear. He's been very honest. He's been very straightforward. I cannot pay you. I can't afford to pay you, but I will give you food to eat, and you cook, and I will give you food to eat, and I will let you stay in my house. Okay. So that was the agreement. This goes on for about a month. Since Anil doesn't make much money, Hari Singh doesn't get a chance to steal anything. You should have money to steal, right? He doesn't have money, and he told them in the beginning, he told him, I don't have money to pay you. So Hari cooks. He didn't know how to cook. So Anil taught him how to cook. Okay. So Singh cooks, buys groceries, sometimes makes a rupee or two from the money. Anil gives him for the vegetables and groceries from whenever he would go and shop. Anil would, as I said, Anil trusted him completely. He wouldn't, he gave him the house keys also. He gave him money to buy groceries, and he knew. When you read it, you come to know that Anil knew that if he's taking 1 rupee from that money, what I'm giving, or 2 rupees, depending on money saving. But he doesn't know. Anil has even taught Hari Singh to write his name and would teach him to write, full sentences about which Hari Singh seems excited because this was the first time in his life a person has taken interest in him and taken interest to teach him something. You know, that kind of trust, when somebody has, you don't want to break that kind of trust, and that is why your guilty conscience kicks in. He feels he would achieve greater things once he knows how to write sentences. One day, Hari returns with a bundle of notes which he had earned by selling his book to a publisher. Hari plans to make his move that night and steal the money. At night, Hari managed to steal the money and sneak out of the house. He ran to the station where the train was just leaving the platform. He could have boarded the train, but suddenly something told him not to, and he did not board the train. So he stole. He got the chance, and he knew. And Anil was like knew he had this one. He will steal. Okay, if he does small things, definitely he will do big things. That was this one he knew. And he stole the money. He could have caught the train, but he did. He was left alone on the deserted platform. He had nowhere to go. He kept walking and reached the Maidan. A sudden wave drenched him and made him take shelter at the clock tower. He now felt miserable about stealing from the very man who trusted him. Suddenly, he remembered the full sentences, how they would earn him respect in society. He decided to return to Anil's even if only to learn how to write full sentences. Hari returns to Anil's house and finally manages to keep the damp notes. Now it was raining. It was drizzling. So the notes also which was there, it was damp. And when he slid it into the this one, it's under the pillow. So you don't have the direct fan. So it would not dry out. So it was damp. At the same place from where he had stolen. Next morning, Anil gives Hari Singh a 50 rupee note and tells him that now he could be paid regularly. Anil also says that he will start teaching Hari Singh how to write good sentences from the very day. Hari Singh finds 50 rupee notes still damp from the last night. He realizes Anil knows everything but has chosen not to bring things up. The story ends with Hari finally and genuinely feeling happy in the company of the Anil. This is your clock. Read. Now read. Now you read.
The story revolves around the theme of human relations, kindness, trust, betrayal, aspiration, and gift. There is an unspoken affection between Anil and Hari Singh, which neither of them express in words, but through actions. Anil teaches Hari Singh to write and often doesn't mind his stealing unfree or for the book he builds. Anil also trusts Hari Singh with his house. Hari Singh has an extra key of the house and can come and go whenever he wants. Hari Singh's betrayal doesn't come as a surprise as we are given to this notion, as we are taking this notion from the beginning that he is stealing. It's only a matter of time before Hari Singh gets a chance to steal. Guilt eats away at the heart and soul of Hari Singh after he has stolen from the man who had trusted Hari Singh the most. It's this guilt combined with an aspiration of a better future that brings about a twist of the tale and compels Hari Singh to return to Anil.
That is the synopsis of your story. And that is the theme of your story, which is always asked. It is there online, or you please search.
No, I'm phone. I'm with the phone. I'm going to go a bit up.
I think half an hour.
Done.
Half done?
Yes.
Wait, man.
What's the use of you taking photos when you are
Flash
doing
that
it?
you are making. Flash is not clear.
Huh? What's the use of you taking photos when you don't sit and learn? And that's why the Nelson Mandela notes and all that notes you should have taken, na?
I take it from you.
Yeah, I take it from them. You always take from everyone else, but you don't take yourself.
I'm doing it.
Nice to meet you.
So then only one lesson, two lessons will be there. Correct?
I'm going to finish this.
Yeah, this lesson I'm doing now. And I would try to start the next lesson also after this. And then next week I'll complete that lesson and we'll start with the
Now at 14.
Mobile is about to ring the bell.
So what?
Ring.
Read.
I was still a youth when I met Anil and we were only 15. I was an experienced and fairly successful man.
So what this line tells you?
That he was a thief.
He is extremely proud about his ability of being a thief, and he is outrightly telling you that I was still a thief till I met Anil.
Perhaps I will change.
Anil changed him. You get that thing. Understood? When he starts like this, I was still a thief when I met Anil. After Anil, his full life changed. Understood?
Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25.
Okay, stop.
5,
10 minutes, 5 minutes.
10, 10, 10, 10, 10.